In today's video, I'm actually going to talk about the 5 tips that will help you in choosing the right area in Mississauga. I've had a lot of people reach out to me recently in asking this very specific question, like what are those things that you have to consider if you're choosing an area in Mississauga? And I thought this video would help you if you are thinking about moving here and you want to figure out if maybe Mississauga is the right place to be. So let's get started and jump right in. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Nasira Jamal and I'm a local realtor right here in the Greater Toronto area. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about working, playing, eating, sleeping, and even how do you pick the best areas to live in, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notification on so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Honestly, I get calls every single day from people who are moving here, relocating here, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving into the area, maybe you're relocating, or perhaps you're just coming to check things out, then make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. You can even send that pigeon carrier. However you want to get a hold of me, I've got your back when you're moving into the Greater Toronto area. So the first thing to consider, no matter where you're moving, is budget. If you have a certain budget in terms of your purchase price of your home, then it's best to sort of look at from that perspective of what is going to be affordable. Mississauga is one of the more expensive areas. There's also not a lot of new development, so you're going to be, if you're looking at purchasing a house, a detached house or a semi-detached home, you're looking at something that's older because there isn't that much new development in all of Mississauga actually. And the other thing is, you have choice of condominium townhomes as well as condo apartments. So depending on your budget, it will make it easier when you know where to start and then figure out which area will be able to support that in terms of the budget. Now, I do find that there are different neighborhoods that offer some flexibility on affordability, but generally, overall, Mississauga is an expensive place. And right now, real estate is so hot that everything seems to be going up in value. For a lot of people that are moving here, for the people that I've helped, over the last little bit, I've noticed that they are downsizing their budget a little bit because there's so much competition going on that you may be saying, well, my budget is $700,000, but if you start looking in $700,000, a lot of these homes are getting multiple bids and going to $800,000 or $850,000. So I tell people, lower that budget point so that in case you're competing, at least you've got that buffer. And one of the key things here is to get a pre-approval for your mortgage, because once you know that figure, it's just so much easier to do the search and look in the areas that will meet your requirements. So I touched on this a little bit. There are the different styles of homes in Mississauga, and primarily if you're looking at, semi-detached, detached, even the townhomes, some of them, they are older. Mississauga is an older city. And you have to look at what type of home you want. Are you looking for a 2-story? Are you okay with a bungalow? Are you wanting a back split because you've got a larger family perhaps and you want more square footage? Do you need a backyard? Are you looking for, the cheapest possible way to live in Mississauga, and you're okay with a condominium, a 2-bedroom condominium in the heart of Mississauga at Square One? So, this will be another determining factor for you in terms of where do you want to live, what is the requirement of your family, and what is that budget? So the style of home is really important because in Mississauga, you'll have different neighborhoods that will have more options in the type of home that you're looking for. Let's talk about tip number 3. This is really important, especially if you're moving here from a different province or a different country and you're trying to figure out lifestyle. So when you see a listing on Realtor.ca or any other external site where you're checking for properties, you won't get a whole sense of what is the community like, what is the neighborhood like in terms of shopping, schools, transportation, restaurants. All of these things are flavors of different neighborhoods, and it's really important to sit down and figure out sort of the top 10 things that are really, really important to you when you're moving here. I find that our consultations with our buyers is so in-depth that once we have that, we have really narrowed down neighborhoods and that lifestyle they're trying to create here with the communities that they're going to be interacting with. And Mississauga really has some amazing pockets that offer different amenities that may or may not be important to you. And it's nice to figure this out before going out and looking, because then you can narrow that search down and really figure out what it is that you're going to get when you go into a certain neighborhood. So lifestyle is really, really important to figure out and to really know some of those things that are non-negotiables for you, because you may be moving here with children that need schooling and you want to know where the local community center is. Perhaps, you know, you're going to be having them in soccer or tennis or skating lessons and things like this. So depending on what the needs of your family are, it's really important to figure out which community will offer all of the things that you need and want, and you don't have to travel so far out, because it does get really busy. Life gets busy, especially if you have young children. You know that you're basically a chauffeur and you're taking them here, there, and everywhere. It's nice to know that some of these things would be in your backyard, depending on the neighborhood that you choose. So I did touch on this a little bit, but I want to expand a little bit further in terms of Mississauga being an older city. So one of the tips I'll give you is, what are you looking for in terms of that home? Is it turnkey? Is it renovated? Is it updated? How much work does it require? And how much are you willing to do or not willing to do? Because this is an older area, you want to sort of figure that out, because it's going to play a part when you start looking at homes and sort of see that maybe, it doesn't have all of the renos done, but it's in your budget. And you can look at allowing an amount that can be done for updating and renovating, and over time you can do it, and then really that adds to the value of the home, and you're doing the work, or you're hiring somebody that's going to add to your cost. So again, you have to balance these things out and figure out which area or which type of home you can get into, and also obviously live in, but enjoy as well. And so because this is an older area, a lot of the homes are updated or getting updated. Some of them are getting completely renovated. Mississauga also has a lot of custom built homes. And so, it is expensive in those areas like Lorne Park, Port Credit. These are areas I've talked about, but some of these homes are large, expansive, and they're custom. So they're going to be a much higher price point. This could be one way of sort of eliminating or adding the neighborhoods you want to see when you get here. Again, this is really important because from the budget perspective, you have to allocate dollars if there is going to be need for perhaps a new roof or a new furnace or air conditioning, or renovations like the flooring. Maybe you need a new kitchen. And this is really important. I find that, sometimes I take clients out and they love the area, but then when we get into the home in that budget point of where they are, they really are disappointed. And so it's really important to have that consultation to figure this out, so that when we do go out, we're looking at the right properties and really figuring out what's most important to you. So tip number 5, and I find this to be one of the most important things that I really have my clients do, and it really does help. If you do this prior to actually looking at homes, you'll find your stress level to be much lower, is to have partners or whoever you're sharing that space with create a list of your must-haves and your wants. When you do this and you have these lists that are created separately, it gives you the ability to have a discussion of what's important and really understand your partner or your family's perspective. so that when you are looking for a home, you're looking at it from perspective from everybody that's going to be sharing that space, and there isn't sort of that conflict that comes up if you haven't had this discussion. I find this exercise to be one of the most important, and I encourage my clients to do this prior to meeting with us, and then we go over this list and look at all of their requirements together so that we can create a plan, a strategy that will help them find that home, that beautiful property that they're looking for, meeting everyone's needs. And sometimes what happens is, when you have a list, you can say that out of 10, you may only get 7, but prioritizing what's most important really helps in the decision when you find a home, because generally speaking, you don't get all 10 out of 10. Sometimes you get lucky and you do, but in most cases, what I have found over my 15 years of helping people buy their first home, second home, whatever that is, I have found that really 7 out of 10 is a really good sort of benchmark of what you can get. So it's really, really important to prioritize what is important and what are you willing to negotiate and what is a non-negotiable. You see, buying a home is not just a numbers game. It's really creating a process that's going to benefit you and your family, because it is stressful. It can be stressful. And when we do some of this homework prior to actually physically, getting boots on the ground and looking at properties, it's just such a more pleasant experience. And I find people make better decisions when they're calm and in a place of clarity as opposed to stress. So if you're thinking about moving to the Greater Toronto Area, perhaps you're relocating, maybe you just want to come check it out if you even think it might be the right place for you, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Remember, you can even send that pigeon carrier. However you want to get a hold of me, days, nights, weekends, I'm here to help and really have your back when you're moving into the Greater Toronto Area. Until the next video,